today we want to talk about something very close to our hearts, and that is the loss of a pet. So if you've had a pet, you might have experienced the loss where it gets lost or it dies due to disease or an accident or something of the sort. And we want to take you through how you can deal with that situation when it comes to your home.
Hi everyone!
Hi everyone, karibuni to another episode of the Rescue Pets Kenya channel. My name is Modoni Geshovi and I am your host. I am joined by a very special guest who is now here for the second time, and please introduce yourself to us.
Hi guys, my name is Madeline Baire. I am a counseling psychologist, particularly who works with children, and I'm so excited to be here for the second time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So Maddie, the experiencing grief after you've lost a pet is normal. I know sometimes people kind of dismiss that ni dogi tu amekufa. What do you have to say about that?
The loss of a pet, whether that's like it's gotten lost or it's actually died, is processed by the body in the same way or to the same extent as even the loss of a person, which people tend to hold at a higher level.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is because, you see, pets, and for people who love pets and keep pets, are not just an animal.
Yeah.
They are a member of a family. For some people it's their sibling. It's part of the family. For some people it's even their best friend. So, and this is why we need to be gracious when you see someone who's really affected by the loss of their pet, because it's not just an animal. They've lost their best friend or a member of their family or their confidant or their sibling
Or their child.
Or their child. So that is why it is processed by the body to the same extent, which means someone goes through the same feelings of grief as anyone else would. And the feelings of grief sometimes are denial, anger, a bit of like, has it happened, was it me, and guilt comes in. This is the stage where we call bargaining, depression, which is a lot of sadness before they get to acceptance. So the same thing as that would happen with an animal would also happen in the case of a pet. And actually for some people it's been said that sometimes the loss of a pet hits them harder, I saw somewhere in research, than even the loss of a distant relative. So that's how significant pets are.
And I totally agree with you. I live with my cat, and there's some relatives I haven't seen for the last 5 years. I haven't even spoken to, and that's the reality of many of us. So if my pet were not to be there one day, I'm pretty sure it would hit me harder than some of the losses of the people if we are being honest. I know you mentioned the stages of grief briefly, but there must be a difference between the stages that you go through when, for example, your pet was unwell and then crosses to the Rainbow Bridge, or when your pet was suddenly hit by a vehicle or got into an accident and died immediately.
Sometimes you might be psychologically prepared. Either your pet was very, very old, and so you can be psychologically prepared because you're seeing. You see it will happen. Or your pet was very, very sick, so you see it will happen. And then I guess that's when people even sometimes consider euthanasia, just taking it out of the pain and stuff like that. So in that case you might be more prepared. But when it's sudden death, when you go and then you hear kuna dogi iligongwa pale, or there's a dog that was hit there, and then you find out it's your dog, then that's totally different. And like we said, the stages of grief are from denial. You might even just be like, feel like, no, that's not the case. You might even, if maybe your pet just wandered off and has not come back, you might hope every day that it's coming back. So the stage of denial is even bigger for people who've gone through a sudden loss of their pet as compared to people who maybe saw it coming. And then now, especially, remember we said sometimes there can be guilt, whether that's with a child or even with an adult. Sometimes you might feel like, especially if like your pet, something happened to your pet and it was not in your control, you might blame yourself for what happened. You might be like, oh no, how could I leave the door open? Maybe it's that one day where everything was chaotic and you left the door open and they wandered off. Or how could I, you know, sometimes you might, even children might blame themselves. Is it because of the way I was mean to it that it's decided to die? So guilt is another thing about, especially just like about loss generally, but it's more about, with regards to the sudden death. Because when you know it's coming, sometimes you can be like, no, it wasn't me, it was because it was old. It wasn't me, it was because. But when it's something random that happened, then you feel like sometimes it's your fault.
How do I explain the loss of a pet to my child?
When a pet dies, sometimes we even, some parents are tempted to replace it. Of course, you've seen in the movies where the parent replaces the goldfish and the child is all like, it's like, this is not John, and then like, but goldfish are no. So don't be quick to replace like with a pet that looks similar, because it won't feel the same way.
Yes.
So what do? You actually break the news to the child, and you don't use the words like sleeping, especially for children under the age of 7 or even the age of 10. Don't tell them that the pet has slept or the pet has gone. Because what that means to the child is that the pet, okay, it slept, but it will wake up, because when we sleep, we wake up.
Yes.
It is good to actually use, it might sound brutal, but use the words died. Tommy died. Tommy died. And they might wonder, what does death mean? It means, what is more important to tell to a child, which might be very hard, is that it means that Tommy will not come back. Yeah? Whether Tommy has gone to heaven or however you will put it, over the rainbow bridge, whenever you go there, you don't come back. And they might ask, no, okay, what about if they won't come back, or can I go? Like, so really be prepared to really answer all the questions, and don't lie to them. Don't lie to them. Don't tell them that the pet ran away when it actually died, because then they might feel a lot of guilt and have many questions. So be prepared to answer any question your child has, and tell them the truth, and then the child will grieve. So let them grieve. If it means you go and tell their teacher that they've lost a pet, and so, because children might actually get reactions, they might start developing headaches, feel like they don't want to eat, cry a lot, feel like they're irritated because they've lost their friend, they've lost their sibling. So allow them to feel however they feel, to talk about however they feel. And because it's a family thing most of the time, tell them that you're also going through. Because children might feel, well, how come it's only me? Tell them I'm also sad, you know? And if we can, maybe we can just talk about this as well. If you can, do something in honor of that pet.
Yes, I love that.
Do something in honor of the pet, whether that's actually do a little funeral. It will definitely teach them about the cycle of life, even so that they understand what happens in funerals, or do something together as a family to celebrate that pet.
You know, you mentioned something about not lying to them. I remember when I was growing up, we always had animals at home. So this older cat decided to come at night. Someday we had some cats fighting, and then my dad went to check it out, and then he, at that time of the night, he already knew this cat has killed these kittens, but no one told me the truth. They somehow whispered, probably in cute, before I was too young, old to understand. So you can imagine my excitement when in the morning, I'm always excited, meaning the first thing I go is check on the kittens. I go, I open the door, there are no kittens, they were killed Jana. So I'm the only one who's processing this shock by myself in the morning. But I've never forgotten how betrayed I felt. Like, you guys, why didn't you tell me that? I don't know, I felt like I sort of felt guilty with going on with my life when those kittens were not there anymore, and they meant so much to me. So it's not fair actually to lie to kids about that process. Just tell them by the kulienda. Even we need to talk about what your options are when your pet dies at home. And so in Nairobi, you could do a few things. If your pet dies at home, you could call your vet and ask them to come and humanely dispose of your pet's body. You could also engage funeral homes, because now they have now they have processes where they can cremate the body for you. Depending, it's slightly more expensive than the option where your vet would dispose of the body, but they also give you back the ashes, and it's a really good way to also, remember that pet forever. You get to keep the collar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they can sort of always be with you if you're the type of person who believes in stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, and as you mentioned, if you have a backyard in Nairobi, it would be good if you gave the pets, dig a deep enough hole so that pests and diseases don't come out of that situation. And then, give it a dignified send-off by doing a mini funeral.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't have to be mini, actually. Do a funeral.
Yeah, do a funeral, dress up.
Do a funeral and show your kids how you send off people that you love.
Yeah.
After I lose my pet, how do I self-care?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I like that's the question, which means that we should take care of ourselves. Yeah.
Yes.
In as much as other people also give people grief over grieving their pet, we also kind of like are hard on ourselves, and we don't allow ourselves the same grace that we would if it was maybe the loss of a person. Yeah. So what do? You let yourself go through the paces and the feelings. Allow yourself, if you need to cry for a month, cry. If you're angry, let out the anger. If you are, just allow yourself to feel in all the feelings that you're feeling. Just allow yourself to feel. If you even feel like you're feeling the feeling is too much and you need to talk to someone about it, you can actually go to therapy and actually talk to a therapist about it. Because remember, it's not just a pet, it's a friend, it's a confidant. They feel a very important slot for you in your life. So really, really allow yourself to go through the process. And also, just aside from that, you can also just even just journal how you're feeling. And all that, all those things that you typically do to take care of yourself, whether that's even going for a massage, all those things you can do. Also find people. There's people out there who have gone through what you've gone through and understand. So get support, find a community that understands you and is willing to help. And finally, what you could also do is take in another pet. Give another pet your home. This does not mean you're replacing your pet, and I know sometimes we are afraid to do that because we feel guilty. This does not mean you're replacing your pet. You're just finding another, maybe deserving animal, a home, and someone to love them.
Your pet would like you to know that they know that you loved them and you cared for them with all of your might.
Yeah. And your pet would like you to know that you did the very best. They know that you took care of them in the very best way you could.
Yeah. And your pet would also like you to know that once you're ready, it's okay to bring another pet at home. And there are like so many images on the internet of like the pet that has crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge and the one that you have now. So the one that you have now says something like, they still talk about you. And then the other one goes like, yes, I know. So your pets, where they are in sync in another realm, and they know that they are here to take care of your emotional needs. And it's okay for you to bring another one into your home. They're totally welcome, and it's okay to feel how you feel.
It's not easy to lose a very key part of your life. So be gracious to yourself and allow yourself to grieve. And once you get to the healing, you might even be ready to take in another one. So be gracious and be gentle with yourself.
I love that advice because it applies to everything in life. We did something special for the people here who have lost pets. Thank you so much for sticking with us until the end of this episode. My name is Modoni Geshobi. I have been your host. This is Madi Maire. See you next time. Hi everyone. I'm back and I have some amazing news. If you want to support the Rescue Pets Kenya channel, now you can, because we have merchandise on sale. So we have this t-shirt. It says, I like big mutts and I cannot lie. So yeah, I like big mutts and I cannot lie. It's going on sale at $11.99. That's 1,199 shillings. And all proceeds go towards production and the assisting of animals towards better lives, treatment and healthcare. If you like the content on this channel and you would like to give, we have a pay bill. It's 5700485. Welcome back to
that place that hapa tumestruggle